Hey guys, it's Jamie in Powerhouse. Welcome to episode 5 of the Life of Skills podcast. The second upload in the last 2 days as I finally figured out how to work OBS today as we go over Alyssa's gigantic essay she sent us on YouTube and the not so long awaited interview, but gotta do it anyway because I do it with everyone else. Coffee's here.
Hello, it's me, Coffee Mug, your average cup of Joe.
This is actually like the third time we've done this because the last 2 times I've actually hit streaming instead of record on OBS. So I'm a noob. I'd like to say thank you for all the support we have gotten recently. Alyssa, you broke my eyesight. So with that, let's go into this gigantic. We're gonna break this down into parts, I think, because this is ridiculous. So we're gonna break it down. You ready? So, Alyssa's response to the question she sent us was, we'll start with this. I agree that it may take more episodes to connect more to Sean and Daniel, and also I agree that we surely have to wait and see how things are handled in the upcoming episodes. What do you think about that, Coffee?
Yeah, that's pretty much what we said. I don't know.
She's just saying that she agrees. She's saying...
Yeah, there's not much to respond to.
Okay, so then she continues on and she goes... she continues on and she goes, I don't mind things being political. One of the more prominent topics of the first season was bullying, which happens everywhere in every moment, one way or the other. It can lead to people dying. Racism is the obvious biggest topic of the first episode. It's basically all around us too. It can lead to awful things, to people dying too. What are your thoughts on that? Coffee? What are your thoughts on that?
What are your thoughts? Come on, man.
Wow, throw me under my bus. Yeah, I don't mind things being political either. I think that, like you said, bullying is a common thing, so it's hard for us to see. But we really appreciate it, so we're gonna keep going on. Well, we don't appreciate the bullying, but we appreciate that we're not the only ones who feel the way that being political is a thing that people have to deal with. You know, that's what my. Why did you just slam that in my ear? That's what my opinion is. So what do you think, Coffee?
Yeah, like nowadays we can't avoid having politics, so I think it's good that it's also seeping into video games and stuff.
Yep. Okay, so then Alyssa continues. This is like my college essay that I got an F on, except Alyssa just typed it in like a strange format. Alyssa continues to say, the only difference between the games to me as of right now, after playing just one episode, is that those political issues, bullying is also political in a way. In Season 1, were part of the story. It added to the story and it was reflected by those characters, whether Max, Chloe, Lauren, etc. Yeah, but again, it's only one episode, so you can't say that, like, yeah, it reflected to those characters with whether Lauren, Max, Chloe. I'm actually mad you didn't put Kate in there. No, I'm kidding. But like, I think it's gonna add to the story. It just doesn't add to the story yet. Coffee?
Fuck.
You gotta say something, dude. We can't have dead
Wait,
air.
we were the difference between the games part, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, is
I think like it's a good it's a good way to think about it, yes, but it's too early to say that you can't you can't say it reflected by those characters yet because we don't know if it's gonna reflect by those characters, you know?
yeah.
So we'll have to see. So Alyssa continues even more and says, in season 2, it feels different to me as this political statement made by Dontoid is not so much part of the story as it is or feels like the story right now. Whether the actions of the cop or the shop owner were realistic or not, both of them did feel, and I go back to my question, too
Unsubtle.
unsubtle, and therefore missed the mark. For me, at least, of course, I felt sad for the boys. The scene right after, oh, apparently we know the guy's name now, Esteban's death was heartbreaking. Just seeing the shock and sadness on Sean's face. Um, yeah, like we said, it's unsubtle, but like, and I know that I did read this whole thing, so I know that when I go further down, I trust Dontoid, and I think that Dontoid is going to do an amazing job of figuring out what they need to do. You know what I mean? So I think that it'll be fine. The political statement I think is going to be more of a story than you think it is, or more of a part of the story than you think it is as we go along. Coffee?
Um, I just want to say that the racism it it's not it's not subtle all the time. There are instances when it's all up in your face that people they're just so hateful that they just scream at you. Like you'll hear stories about women having their hijabs ripped off, and I mean this is a little more extreme, but they're still both extreme
Yeah,
because
yeah. The
you wouldn't rip a hat off of someone's head. That's disrespectful. And it's not just a hat with the women, um, Muslim women, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that yeah, for them that's part of their religion.
yeah,
All right, it's more like ripping it off of a nun. I guess that's more accurate.
yeah. Like we don't know, and we really do appreciate your feedback. I wish you wouldn't have typed it in 70,000 paragraphs, but um, it's seeing the shock on Sean's face when Esteban died. I mean, for me and Coffee though, we knew it was coming because of watching the gameplay and watching the trailer. So I feel like we knew it was coming, so it didn't, I'm not gonna say it didn't bother us as much, because whenever someone dies in real life or in a video game, it's hurtful, you know? Especially when you, for a short amount of time, get connected to that character. But, yeah. So, uh, then she continues even more. Coffee, do you have any more to say?
Uh, and yes, cops are shooting people just like that, not living under a rock here.
Oh,
But I don't
okay,
know
I
if
was
this.
gonna...
Oh, you wanted me to stop?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Or you continue.
And yes, cops are shooting people just like that, not living under a
I
rock
don't know.
here. But I don't know if this approach is helping the cause. We're gonna do this step by step because this is a long ass paragraph. Um, You know what? I guess I'll just yes, and yes, cops are shooting people just like that, not living under a rock here. But I don't know if this approach is helping the cause, or maybe it's actually needed this way, just to make that point heard. Um, I think that it depends on what you mean by the cause. The cause of like, do you mean the cause of it's not helping the cause of racism? Because if that's the case, then yes, it's not. But this is this is. Can you stop making noises? This is this is showing the cause of what America is right now. So it's gonna be hard for it to um support the cause, but basically what the cause is what America is right now. Coffee? Coffee?
um, let's see what is this.
Yeah, so
I don't
like,
know. I think the yeah I think the direct approach is needed. You can't you can't lay you can't lay racism on someone so that they feel comfortable with it. Otherwise, they're not going to feel that change is necessary or as urgent as it actually is.
yeah,
I think the uh I forgot what the book's name is, but um all right, do you remember the book? You probably learned about it, read it in high school or in school,
yeah,
where it talks about how the main character, the girl, her dad takes on a case to defend a male to a black male who was accused of rape, and he
Cur-
defends him because he knows
Curious,
even
curious incident of the
though
dog.
um he knows even though the black kid is innocent that he's going to be convicted and he's going to lose it, but he wants to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what it is too, is like, they're trying to push across the point that they understand that, and we'll get to this later. Well, will sort of get to it because I think she talks about it gently. Is that what we have?
And I wanted to say a little bit more and how they actually banned the book because it was so straightforward. But that's the point. You're supposed to receive the shock. You're supposed to feel it, and you're supposed to realize this isn't okay. They're people. We gotta help them, fellow humans.
Okay, so um, Jesus Christ, uh, where uh. Oh, people living and experiencing these things might and will feel strongly about this. But as a game, it's supposed to get everyone who's playing it involved. Doing it more subtle would probably work too. Um, I think they're trying to do it as subtle as they can. I don't think they're trying to. The only times I thought they drove it home was when, pretty much the reference of the wall, in my opinion. That was the only time they drove it home, right? I can't think of another time they really drove it home. Unless you talk about when the guy said that your whole family belongs in jail. Ice, he said he was gonna call Ice. Besides those two, I don't think it's been as out in the obvious as you think it has been, right? Coffee?
Yeah, and video games, just like a zombie, it's not ever gonna please everyone. So they're gonna think of their target audience, and so you know maybe like this time I think their target audience is maybe like immigrants, people who their families haven't been here forever, who maybe they came over recently or or maybe they themselves came over from another country and they want to tell a story from their perspective.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is they wanna tell a story from from their perspective. So anyway, Alissa continues to go on. This whole podcast is just going to be Alissa's YouTube comment. No, I'm kidding. Alissa continues to go on, and she says, "Anyway, the moment Stamper attacked Sean in my first walkthrough, I was surprised and taken aback. I mean, you could tell that this character was supposed to be your typical white racist, we don't curse on here, ass. No matter what you did or said, it would always end like this. And while I felt angry about that character, I also felt that the whole situation was just too much on the nose." I think again, they didn't much, uh, that's English. They didn't talk about the racism as much as we all keep saying they did. They did it like twice. And that's the point, is like, I know you're not flipping out, but I know people who are flipping out. They did it twice, guys. You guys can't flip out because they talk about racism twice. Like, come on now. We had freaking suicide in the first game. Like, if there were people who were okay with suicide, this is gonna be a far-fetched. But if there were people who were okay with the thought of a storyline involving suicide, then what's wrong with a storyline involving politics and Mexicans? Coffee?
Um, um, I think the reason they have it is because they want to show that racism isn't just like isn't just a thing that we can exist with. It's dangerous, especially when it gets power. When
Yeah,
people think that their thoughts are okay, they're more likely to act on them.
yeah. Okay, so, she continues even more and goes, okay, we are actually almost done here. She goes, "At the end, I like this game. It feels like Life is Strange." Alright, okay. "But I play for the emotional aspects of the story and the relationship of the characters. And while the latter was actually done very well in this episode, the way racism was literally thrown at your face did detract from my experience." Um, I think that's gonna depend on who you are. For some people, it's going to extract from the experience, and for others, it's not. For me, it didn't personally, because I thought it was a far-fetched reference, especially the wall. But like, I mean, what are you gonna do? You gonna go call Dontoid and threaten to fire at their headquarters or something? Like, come on now. Like, coffee?
Um, I don't know. Well, I mean, the way I see it is, I feel like you just haven't really experienced racism, but maybe you've experienced bullying, which is why you don't feel the same way. Because I mean, everyone bullying, that's bad. Everyone's known to bully. Everyone knows someone who's been an asshole. You know, you can instantly relate to that. You know it's bad. Every year they have an assembly telling you it's bad. You know, and so you start sympathizing with Kate, but maybe you haven't really had someone be openly racist to you once.
Okay, so she continues and says, "And one example how you can I'm gonna say how you can make someone feel uncomfortable in a slightly more subtle way was the scene involving the brothers and the family at the gas stop." Oh god, we talked about this scene and how much I hated this girl and how much I wanted to kick this girl in the ass. But we'll continue it here because Alissa then goes on to say that scene included racism as well, but more in a way I feel is more efficient. While the cop and Stamper left me more annoyed than anything, that family gave me the creeps, to be honest. To me, that was a stronger message about racism than everything else. As this racism from as is racism from underneath can just be disconcerting. Dis yeah, disconcerting.
Comforting.
Um, so the reason I think we um understood this more was because it was coming. The person being racist was a 12-year-old girl. Like who's not gonna sympathize with a 12-year-old girl being racist? I don't even think the 12-year-old girl realized she was being racist though. You know, like I don't think if you go up to the 12-year-old girl and you're like, "Yo, you know you were being racist," she's like, "Yeah, I did this on purpose," right?
Yeah, I think the way she's is that she's not treating you that way, so she the way she says it, that's how you're supposed to act. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. They haven't really explained it to her, so she doesn't really know.
Yeah. Um, Alyssa then goes on to continue, saying, "Personally, I hope that future episodes will focus more on Shauna and Daniel as people, not just as a reminder how fucked up this society can be when it comes to racism. Balancing all of this out can be quite the task, I guess, but I trust Dontnoid." With Dote Nod. I trust, I trust Dontnoid, Doink, Doink, Don't Nod too. I think that, Don't Nod has a lot of Don't Nod has a lot of stuff on their mind, but Don't Nod will get it done. Um, Coffee?
Yeah. I really hope that they don't try to like. I like the political part, but you know, you still have to learn about the characters and stuff. Otherwise, otherwise, a good plot with bad characters will never make it. But good characters with a bad plot can make it. But
Yeah,
I do trust Donut. I feel like they did a great job, and it was before the storm, right? Yeah,
yeah. No,
they did a great job right there, and so I feel like they
no. I think before the
that's what
storm. I think before the storm was before the storm.
Square
Don't
Enix.
No, Square Enix has been involved in all of them.
Oh,
Which one did the first one? Was that Deck Nine,
oh yeah. Um,
or did Deck Nine do Before the Storm? I think Deck Nine did Before the Storm.
I'm confused. I don't know. Both games were wonderful. Whichever it was that they made.
Deck Nine, we love you too. Um,
We love you.
So
I'm sorry for getting my information wrong. Right, Donut was the first one.
yeah, so then Deck Nine was Before the Storm, and then Don't Nod is Life is Strange too. So, and I think Don't Nod also did Captain Spirit. So
Yeah,
Deck Nine is only done what is Deck Nine only done? Oh, Deck Nine's only done Before the Storm.
before the storm.
hmm So Alyssa finally ends it 7 years later by saying, "That being said, take oh
Take
Jesus.
care, guys.
That being said, take care, guys, Alyssa." Um,
Yes.
I am happy that I will say that she Twitter DM'd me after I posted it, and she said, "By the way, I listened to your podcast. You did pronounce my name right." So that made me feel great because I thought this whole time I was pronouncing her name wrong. So luckily I wasn't. So, Alyssa, thank you for all the support. And now it's time for the interview, folks.
Oh, an interview.
The Insta-view?
The
What?
Insta view.
The Insta-view. So we,
The interview.
what the fuck's an Insta-view? So,
You misunderstood me, sir.
Go get me a beer. No, so
The long dreaded interview.
the long awaited by nobody interview. Um, so this interview might detach on I know that in the last episode I kinda how do I put this? I'm not gonna say called Lila out and made me and Park never want to come on this show, but I think that's what I did. So you gotta be careful what you say here because I can tell you for a fact, at least I think that Katie, Haley, and Day listen to this. So you might want to be careful because I know for a fact that at least Day and Haley do, and I'm pretty sure Kayla does, Katie does too. So you gotta be shut up, shut up. Kylie probably listens to this too. That's why I said Kaylee. Um. So hi Kylie. I know you just hit what was it 5,000 subscribe followers on Twitter. Congrats on that. Uh. So we're gonna break it down. Degeneration X. No. Um. We're gonna break it down, and here's how we're gonna do it. You have to tell me favorite lines of characters, favorite characters from games, what you think of them. I'm not gonna ask you Bay or Bay because I already asked you that, and you told us about pineapple pizza, so I'm not gonna ask you that. But I am gonna ask you some other questions. So my first question is, and you have to think of favorite lines from characters too. What can you give me a impression or impersonation of a character from Life is Strange, the beginning, the first one?
An impression of a character from the first Life is Strange?
Yes.
I'm not very good at impressions.
Just try. Gotta say something.
Uh,
Just like wing it, bro.
I don't know who to impersonate. I mean,
Just do Jefferson.
I don't think I can do Jefferson.
Okay, do Max.
And see, give me a Samuel line.
Give you a Samuel line.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't let the squirrels die.
there you go. There you go. Do that again.
Don't let the squirrels die, Max.
There you go. That was close. That was somewhat close, I guess.
Did I have fear in my voice?
I was scared. I was scared shitless. Um, so now my question is, you have to. Well, obviously, is that your favorite Samuel line?
My favorite Samuel line?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so my next question would be, what is your favorite Nathan line from the original?
Favorite Nathan line?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I can tell you mine.
All right, what is yours?
Mine is, there's a couple. I think I talked to you about this, but I think we talked about it off air. I think we last week after Jesus, I'm just Canadian today.
Zeitgeist got offline.
Yeah, me and Coffee talked for a bit, and we I think I told him this, but I have two favorite Nathan lines. One is, you don't know who the fuck I am or who you're messing around with. And then the other one is the car scene in the car where he says, Max, I didn't mean to hurt anybody. So, what's your favorite Nathan line? Coffee, dude. Come on.
I'm sorry, there's just so many lines and I can't remember any of them.
You just gotta wing it, blow, and say one.
Um,
We can't have dead air here. We've gone over this.
all right, fine. Yeah, um, I didn't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What's your thoughts on the Nathan character from the original game?
I don't know. At first I didn't like him at all. He seemed really suspicious, and I thought he was the one doing it, and not. I thought he was the perpetrator, not just an accomplice. And yeah, I I feel kind of bad for him.
Yeah,
He just wanted to be loved, you know.
yeah,
He wanted his father to show him some affection, but his father just kind of threw him away. Didn't let him get any help.
yeah, I feel bad for him too.